Young.
Mr Speaker, we are moving through this bill at tremendous speed because members of the opposition have very little to say. I am very surprised at that. Sir, we live in the electronic age, and it's imperative that right through the systems of electronic transactions that we have in this country, that they be foolproof, and that when we see areas where improvements can be made, no matter how small, that we actually apply ourselves to that. You know, there's an old saying, look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. And it's important, sir, that in any regard to detail, that attention is being paid to it and things are improved. And this is what this bill brought to the House by my friend and colleague Paul Goldsmith does. It's small, but, sir, he has gone through and shown through history that moments of transactions being conveyed and completed are very important for the economy of whoever may be involved. And it's nothing to be made trite about. Sir, we know, sir, that businesses have been lost because of transaction failures at times. No doubt relationships have been lost because of transaction failures at times. And it's important, sir, as Mr Goldsmith has identified, that this is an area where clarity can be achieved. And, sir, this is what we have achieved in this bill. And I guess it's part of this John Key-led government that we attend to the detail of these sorts of measures, and this Member of Parliament, this National Member of Parliament, has sought to do that. Sir, because we are very committed to ensuring that we have a very competitive and a robust economy. And so while it may be in the mind of the opposition to mock and make trite of these things, we take these things, sir, as small as they are, as very serious. And so I'd like to congratulate and commend my colleague who has brought this bill through to the House, and it's gone through the Select Committee process. During that process, Mr Speaker, we had 8 people submit, and members of the opposition will acknowledge that we had some very interesting discussions during that Select Committee process. While on the surface it may seem to be a small measure, yet behind it there were some very interesting philosophical discussions that I think, sir, we need to acknowledge. Sir, as I just come to the conclusion of my remarks, I just want to mention that we did find in our procedures in the committee that there were cases in Australia in particular where there had been errors and mistakes made in the transmission of information, payments or bills, whatever it might be, that actually did cause concern. That mail servers in a particular jurisdiction of a council received information, but it wasn't passed on to the appropriate person. And so in that particular case, that did go to court. It was deemed that once it had been received by the server in that jurisdiction, in that council, that it was deemed to be received. And so those things don't go to court unless they really matter. And they did matter, and we found those sorts of cases where just a single transaction, an email, an acceptance, a payment, whatever it could be for anybody out there who uses electronic means to communicate, that even though it might be a small email, to that person it could mean a lot. And so, sir, we worked through this, and we have brought our recommendations back to the House, and I am very pleased to stand in support of this bill under the name of Mr Paul Goldsmith. Thank you, sir.
Dennis O'Rourke.